Ladies and gents, Casual Gaming Dad here. This is a video that I've been planning to make here for a little bit, and I did have some requests to do so. So here I am. How to use Traderie, right? And I'm going to be showcasing it mostly for Diablo 2 Resurrected purposes, but you can take a lot of these same principles that I'm going to share from my own personal experience. And again, I'm by no means the authority on using Traderie. I'm sure there's lots of other videos out there for that, but I think from someone's perspective like mine, where I really just taught myself how to use it, I feel that this would be a useful video. So here we go. Let's get started. So this is Traderie, right? For those of you who don't know, it is a website you can use kind of like as a middleman to interact with other people across a variety of different games. These are what they show here available now. You can suggest new games, of course. For example, last year when I was playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, initially I looked here to help me try to get some trades. I wasn't that successful, probably because it was still early on in the game's release and people weren't really using it or even knew you could, right? But anyways, here, let's go to here, okay? You can create an account. It's free to use. And you come here. Here's your profile. I have some items listed here for sale. You can see that I have 160 successful transactions. You can ignore the fact, honestly, that it's a 5-star because people, in my experience, don't really give anything less than 5. If this transaction is successful, you get a 5-star, and that's really it. So yeah, I have a decent amount of transactions here. I've seen some people on here with thousands, a couple thousand, a few thousand. I don't think I've seen more than that really. But yeah, so I've got a good amount of experience at this point. You can list some of your socials here, which I have some of mine here, right? I find the best way to use Traderie. This is the first tip I'm going to give you. If you want to use it effective, you need to have regular access to it and some form of notification. So when I signed up for it, I signed up through my Discord. If you use Discord, I highly recommend you do the same. And the reason being is because, and I'm going to show you. Let me open up my Discord right here. If you go here, you're going to get this. So this is the Traderie channel. And if you go here, you're going to get notifications from the Traderie bot when you get messages, reviews, offers. This helps me quite a bit with knowing when I get offers, when I get messages. And the reason why that's important is because one of the things that I found out and I learned very quickly on Traderie, especially when looking for deals and or you're selling things, a lot of times the first person to accept an offer is going to get it. And why is that? Well, sometimes, let's say I'm looking for something. I'll give you an example. Recently, I looked for a Ravenfrost ring for my assassin, and I was looking to pay a certain amount, right? And I was going through here, and I'm not kidding. If I go here to my offers made, I had probably at least 12 or so offers on different listings for Raven. And once I finally got a response, I accepted one, canceled all the others, right? And that's what happens a lot. So a lot of times you'll see someone make an offer and then even like a minute later, they cancel it. And why is that? It's because they made multiple offers and they got accepted somewhere else. So being prompt and available is going to be a big factor for you being more successful, right? It doesn't mean that you won't be successful if you're not, because a lot of people can't, But for example, you could come here and I could put myself offline so people will know not to make offers because I'm not going to be available most likely. Or I can be online, I can put busy, I can go to my profile, I can add some more information. I could say, hey, if it shows I'm green, that means I'm available. I'm available this time to this time. Right, you can put that information there too. So a lot of people do that, okay? So that's the first thing that I feel like it's really pertinent and important to mention. A lot of people don't realize being prompt and responsive when you can be, okay? If you can't be, it's okay too. A lot of times I'll put things up for sale and then I'll go to sleep and then the next morning I'll see offers. Sometimes I'll see an offer, then a cancellation because they got it somewhere else, right? Remember that you can post offers and you can see things. For example, so look here, I'll go back to Ravenfrost. So I'm gonna click different things. So I'm on PC for the most part, so I save that. I'm doing softcore only right now, so I do that. And then ladder, non-ladder, and you can put region too, right? So I'm in Americas, but the good thing is on PC, you can go to any region. You simply come here and you choose your region and then you can play there. So what's really cool, I think one of the more beneficial things about Traderie as opposed to other, for example, I use some Discords occasionally or going in games and looking for games, right? And sometimes you get lucky. With that, you'll find someone who likes a game, who has a game and an offering, or it's a good deal or something you're looking for, is you can have access to players from all different regions. I'd say probably about half of my transactions that I do on here is from Asia, actually, Asia server. You know, it's really interesting. I just get a lot more. I feel like they're very, very active over there, very active, you know. And a lot of times I even get better deals there. Another speculation I have about players over there is they value their time a lot, they farm a lot, and so for them, like they'd rather get a quick deal for a little bit less as opposed to trying to shop for a good deal, you know, get a little more back for their thing. So that's just my experience with that. Okay. So let's talk about some ways to, you know, especially early on when you're not sure what things are worth, but even throughout, right? So I've got my parameters I'm going to set. Okay, let's say that I don't really care, or let's say I want a minimum dex Ravenfrost. I'll just use this example. Okay, it goes from 15. You can see here the stats. It goes from 15 to 20. So I'm going to put 15 because I know from experience that people tend to charge more when the dex is higher, less with the AR, right? So I'm going to go to apply filters. I'm going to see here. So I'm going to start to have an idea of what people are offering or asking for. A lot of times people will see it says make an offer. Even here, even though it says Malrune, it's not locked in. It would say buy it now. That means that's the only price you can pay. So you can still make an offer and you can come here and select what you want, a rune, or let's say you have an item, you can search for that, right? But another thing, so this is what I always like to do. It's the first thing I do before I go start making offers, okay? And I do the same thing on websites like eBay. If you're buying and selling things, you're going to go to recent trades, okay? So choose your parameters, go to recent trades, and take a look and see what people have been paying. So it literally doesn't matter what people are asking for, okay? That's not that important. What's important is what people have been willing to pay. So you're going to look here and you're going to see, right? So this person looks like somebody paid a lot for a 250 AR, so that's the max, okay? But like here, I can see that if I get a lower roll Raven, I can pay like a Pole, Lem, Rune, right? That's what I paid for both my Ravens. I paid So that's pretty good. Oh, Lem actually for a low one. That was a pretty good deal. I'm sure that seems pretty good, you know. But anyways, wow, this is an anti-perfect and someone paid in Rune. I guess they just really wanted 3 perfect amethysts. Wow, that's a steal, right? So anyways, this should give you an idea when you're looking for things about what people are willing to pay at the time. And that changes, right? Especially at the beginning of a ladder when things tend to be more expensive. A Ravenfrost is pretty expensive early on. I don't usually get it right away unless I find it myself because it's very coveted, right? On week 2, drops quite a bit, week 3, so on and so forth, right? Okay, how about another thing? Another common search that I do, especially because I do lots of walks, right, is Annihilus, but not just Annihilus, unidentified ones, right? These prices change all the time, okay? I've gotten Gull, I've gotten Ist, one time I got Mal. You can see sometimes, to see like there's 2 antis, Gull, 1 Ist, someone was willing to pay a Gull they must have had, and they were fine with that Gull. So the highest I've ever gotten for one after the first week was Gull. But I just look at these and I can see, you know what? Okay, if I shop around, I can maybe get a Gull. So let's see, some people are taking Mal here, right? I can maybe get a Gull, but likely an Ist. So what I do is I go to add listing when I want to make it myself. I make sure I check unidentified, and I go here, and I'm going to put what I'd ideally rather have first. So go to Gull, and then I say, or Ist. So someone who has a goal and doesn't have an IST but really wants one may give me a goal. And what's nice about that is goal will typically sell for IST mal or IST but IST mal you can realistically get. So it's worth more. But either way, again, I want a quicker sale because the more annies they go in the market, the more walks there are. And I follow the Discord here on D2R Clone Hunters, right? So I follow that so I know when walks are typically coming. So again, I'd rather opportunity cost, right? Do I want to fish for a goal or would I rather try and get a quicker turnaround if I need it? And so that's my thought process when I'm making transactions happen, right? Sometimes now, let's talk about things that are a little bit more difficult to sell, right? So I have this ring here, okay? I found it's the most notable stats are the faster cast. It's got 20 strength, with I believe is the max for a rare ring. It has fire resist over 20, which is very coveted. Lots of people like. It has AR, which a lot more builds that are melee. For example, like the assassin uses Enigma with martial arts, so they care about that. And then replenish life is the weakest stat. Unfortunately, it's not a 6 point; it's only 5. But I do know that for PvP, people do care about replenished life. So I tried looking for other rings like this, and there was really nothing else like it. So I looked for past transactions, and that's how it helped me. So you know what? Let's go do that really quick, just so we can so you can see it for yourself. Let's go to ring. Okay, so I'm going to go to filters. I'm going to type in a faster cast. You want to make sure you put in minimums or maximums. Right? In this case, 10 it's always 10. Okay, I'm going to put in strength. I'm going to put in 20 because I feel like that's a cap, and that's really, sometimes I don't always put exactly. So like for fire resist, I'll just put 20 just to get an idea. And what do we got? Okay, attack rating. Attack rating, I'll put 60 just to get something close. And then replenish life, I'll put 3. And I'll apply filters. And you can see, look, there's my ring. That's the only one, right? So now I'll go to recent trades. There's nothing. There's just nothing. So it's really hard to price, right? But if I go back here and like, let's say, let's take the strength, be a little more lenient there. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, there's one other ring here. So it looks like the strength's at 18. Fire resist is less. The AR is a little bit more. So it's a little bit weaker than mine. Has anyone made any offers here? No one's made any offers. This person has no experience. I can see here. Okay. Now let's go to trade, see if we see something. Okay. So this is how I got to my conclusion. I came here and I saw that this one is very similar to mine. It has 20 mana though. To be fair, it has 20 mana. That's a little extra. The replenished life, the attack rating is a little bit higher. So kind of similar, and I see that back in December it sold for a high rune. Okay. And that was, not too far into the ladder, right? So I thought, okay, maybe I could get something around that if someone's looking for this. This one, they got 2 bear, but this one has dual resist, so it has fire and lightning, the 2 most coveted. So that one definitely deserves 2 high runes for that extra one. So that's how I came to the conclusion that, maybe I can get a high rune. So I put jaw or bear, and of course someone can offer me less, and I will consider it, right? But generally speaking, that's how I know how to price things, And I think that's really important. I think a lot of people don't know that, And so I wanted to share what I'm looking for. Another thing to do, okay, which I find interesting at times, is there's also a looking for category. Now, I'm probably not going to find something like this with this type of category, right? Here, I'll take this out, attack rating. Others probably not. Now, let's go to something that's a little bit easier to find that people are looking for. Let's go back to the Annihilus, go to Unidentified, and I'll go here to looking for. And we can see here that there are a few people. Look, like this person says they'll keep buying them as of February 24th. That's over a week ago. They may still not be paying. This is January, right? This isn't this current ladder anymore. This is 15 hours ago. This person is willing to pay Mal, right? So what's nice about this is you can come here, and if you have a listing, see it says offer my listing. If you have to have a listing, you can click offer listing, which in this case I don't, and you can offer it to that person. A lot of times, that's a really quick way to get a deal. I don't typically do that, but sometimes I see people like offering a reasonable price for something, and if I need something really fast, then like if I'm breaking down ruins, for example, then I'll come here and I can find someone who's literally offering, right off the bat. You can see not a lot of people use this feature, so there's not going to be too many listings usually for the somethings, but that's yet another thing, Okay. Excuse me. I don't want to make this video too long, okay? But so let's go over some highlights again, okay? Linking to Discord or some other way for you to get notifications, okay? That's really important. That's going to help you stay on top. It's going to help you to be responsive to buyers and sellers, and you'll get your transactions done a lot faster. And just pay attention to also, just because let's say you're making an offer on an item and the person accepts your offer, if you take too long, they may just reopen it and take someone else's offer. So that happens too, okay? So there's that. The other thing is knowing how to price items, right? Coming to an item, putting in your parameters, right? Looking at recent trades. It's going to give you a good idea of what to expect to pay, right? And then that way, if that's what you're looking to pay, if you're a buyer or if you're a seller, you know what you should be asking for, right? I always recommend when you go to adding a listing, unless you have a good reason to be in terms of accept only listing price, that's going to make your pricing seem rigid. Leave it open. People can make offers. You can always counter offer, right? A lot of times people will try to lowball you a little bit, and that's okay. You can decline. No, there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't know what you want, for example, with this ring, at first when I posted it, I put down ask for offers. So if you're not sure what you want, if it's something cheaper, then you can do that. What I like to do personally, if I don't know how to price something like this here, I have this +2 to bow and crossbow skills, rare gloves with 20 IAS and magic find. I put make an offer. I mean, no one's really maybe offers it a bit, so I may just try and sell it for cheap. But like I'll sell this here, for example. Okay, this mark is sold. I actually already sold that. So what I'll do is I'll just put it down for something like some P gems, right? Or an amethyst. I like to collect amethysts. Those gain value with time, right? So a lot of times if it's something relatively cheaper, like here, this claw I found is pretty decent. Let's see what people are willing to offer. They'll look through and make offers. That's fine. But it's better to have a good idea of what you want. I find that if you know what you want, people are less likely to try and just make offers and guess, right? Whereas if I put, like, let's say I put, I want a Malrune for something, Now someone has an idea of whether, if they don't want to pay that, they have an idea of where they should be offering in that range, as opposed to it being really open-minded and they're not really sure what to offer. They don't offer too much, they don't want to overpay, and they don't want to undershoot so much that you're just like decline them like outright. So generally speaking, it's oftentimes better to have a price set as opposed to making an offer. Okay, that's just been my experience, right? With some things I do, and also you're going to want to check things. So for example, I made a very quick video about these tips for these throwing spears, and the prices have since dropped. I was selling them for poles. Now it's more like lems, or even like maybe a little bit less. So I may need to just start taking maybe like gems and whatnot, like amethysts for these, just because they are taking up space, and I do continue to find more from time to time. But those are just my overall thoughts, and again, consistency is important. Being attentive is important. Making sure you're available to make trades promptly. Being flexible. All of those things will allow you to have a lot more success in the game. And I think what's really great about Diablo 2 compared to other games is it doesn't have smart loot, so you'll find stuff all the time that you don't need, and it doesn't have to be something that you just give to Charcy. Especially early on in a season, you can sell stuff. So look, I'll go to my history, and you'll see this long list of things, right, that I've been doing since the start of this season. Or I'll go all the way down to, let's see, okay, February. We are we're right here, right around here, right? So like look at all of these transactions that I went through, right? And so what's really nice about that is, again, it helps me build wealth, you know? And look, I'll just show you really quick the point that I've gotten to. I'm just going to boot the game up. It really makes a big difference because it helps you get stuff that you normally can't always find yourself, or maybe you have a hard time finding yourself, right? So I'll just go here really quick with, this is my assassin, which I built up. Okay, I got dual mosaics. I got Amaras, a lower Maras. Shakeoff found myself. This I paid up for. This I found. This I paid Gull for, 40%, right in the middle. I paid an for this, found this. And then I paid a Gull for this. I think I paid Gull for this. I think it was Gull. Found this myself. Traded for some of these things, found some of these, right? And, you know, my Merc doesn't have anything that special. It's just this, this, and this, right? My son, I was able to not only build this in addition to my barb, but my son has a virtually identical setup. He has this, 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 this. Not this. I got him this and this. And a torch, and he's got his Annie, and I got him all of that for the most part myself. You know, I mean, the only way he helped was when there was walks, we would do an additional walk for him. So we would get that, and I would sell them, and I would get him stuff, you know. So that, in addition to my Barbarian, which is not bare bones, but, you know, has less stuff than that. But I was able to do all of that, and I'm a relatively casual player. I don't play whole days, you know, and whatnot. So the fact that I was able to build that up and play it, you know, and get it up to these 2 levels is pretty good, you know. And I attribute a lot of that to being able to sell and buy things on Traderie. So I really recommend giving it a shot. And I think you'll find you'll have a lot of success. And I was able to do it all on my own, like I said. So hope this video is helpful. If you got questions, concerns, any clarifications you need, leave it in the comments section. Leave a like if you did find this helpful. If not, just give it a thumbs down. That way I know. Don't make these shitty videos anymore. Excuse me. But otherwise, you know, I appreciate you. And have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.